Hey guys, Cendude here of 404games.found. Today I'm here looking at Tera. It's not so much a game we found recently, so much as one we're coming back to. Me and the guys, Verlaine and Lunch, we've all played this game in the past, but now it's gone free to play. We're taking a look at it so that you guys can, see what it's all about and decide for yourselves if you want to give it a go. So, without much further ado, I'm going to quickly fly into the character creation, show you guys a bit of what's what, then we're going to head back out, head on to this guy here, Cadril, and we're just going to take a look at the game itself. So here we are, new character. And this loading screen here, it's a place in game, not 100% sure where, but it is a place and it looks nice. So here we are, the characters creation screen. First of all, you notice there are 7 races, and there's no factions like in World of Warcraft. It's just 7 people and they're all working together against like a greater evil, which is fair enough. The humans are your starting race, the most generic, as in all games, it's always humans. You've got the men, big and bulky, kind of like a bit pretty boyish, I think, and the females, they're very skimpy, but then you'll notice that is a recurring trend within the Tera world, and they look really good. The models are really well made, and the background here, I like that as well. The next race, the Castanics, these guys are, I would say they were like Dark Elves, but obviously they're like their own take on Dark Elves, because you don't see that many Dark Elves with like orange or red skin. So there you go. Again, these are very cool. I play a Castanic, personal preference. Again, the women very skimpy, very nice, and the men have got this kind of like arrogance to them, which I think is really cool. Next, the Aman. Now these guys are pretty meaty, if I'm honest. They're big, they're draconic humanoids, they look really cool. This guy's wearing big plate mail at the moment, and then the women, they look really cool as well. A cool hint about the women, their heels are actually in the shape of high heels, like their actual feet in game are always modelled into the shape of high heels. I just thought that was kind of a little interesting fact for you. Next is the Papari. These guys are the male equivalent of the Ellen, which is something that the official people who make Tera have said. So the Papari are like jolly, fat, panda animal, fox, bunny based creatures. And I think they don't appeal to me personally, but I know they do appeal to other people. And the Ellen are very similar in that sense. They're incredibly skimpy and stuff like that. And to me, they don't appeal to me, but I know other people really like them and stuff. So there we go. And another funny little fact for you, the pants that you can see just under where my mouse is, sort of underneath their swaying skirts, had to be put in by the European developers to make it suitable for an audience, a 13 and plus audience. So fun little fact for you there. Next is the Baraka. These guys are Lunch Money's personal favourite. He wanted one called Baraka Obama because he thinks he's really funny in that way. And these guys are huge. They look really cool. They've got big stern stone faces, and in game they give that really sort of patient, weathered feel to them. And I like the Baraka. And finally, the High Elves. These are Verlaine's personal favourite. They're incredibly. They've got that sort of like elf-like grace down to a T. I mean, I'm not the type of guy that wears like something where the zip up only goes between my belly button and my nipples, but that is Verlaine all over. And the women again, exactly the same. I mean, really kind of like got that sort of ethereal gorgeousness to them, and I really like that in both of them. So we're going to quickly flick up to human now, and we're just going to look quickly through the classes, and then I'm going to head into game. So there we go, we're going to just go with the standard human, and we're just going to quickly talk through the 8 classes, starting with the warrior, who is, unusually, for a big MMO, they're leather wearers, and they never get plate, and they always wield the twin swords, because Tera's big thing is each class has a different weapon set. So the warrior, they use the dual swords, they wear leather, they tank, as it says down here, by evasion, which is dodging, rolling, flipping, backflipping through and around opponents in order to keep the damage away, which is a really cool way. They're a really hard class to play, 5 stars, and so yeah, they're a really cool, really unique take on the warrior, if you ask me. Next up is the Lancer. Now, as you can see, this guy is your damage mitigation tank, your absorption tank. They stand on the front lines, shield up, just, you know, taking the damage, and Lunch was a Lancer. I gather he rather enjoyed it. And yeah, they're like a really cool mitigation tank. I duelled Lunch back in the beta of this game all the way back last year, before the channel was made, and it was like, oh god, we were fighting for something like 10 minutes, and he couldn't kill me, but I couldn't kill him either. So there you go. The next class is the class that I do play. It's the Slayer. Slayers are... They're exactly what they look like. They are a big leather wearer with a greatsword, and they're quite dodgy. They can flip and roll about, and at the same time they're kind of like, they're really always laying into people with that giant greatsword, and it is high damage. Next is the Berserker. These guys, obviously they've got the big axe. Again, they play very similar to the Slayer, and they do share abilities. The Berserker wears plate mail, as opposed to the Slayer's leather armour. But in essence, they are a very similar class type. But the Berserker has a little bit more. They're less agile. The Slayer will jump around, dodge around. The Berserker just takes it. He just takes it in the face and then hits back. So that's sort of how they play. And now we're moving on to the more ranged classes. Those were the 4 melee classes, and the ranged classes are Sorcerer. Now these bad boys wield this floating disc of confusion. They're really cool, and all their spells are cast through this disc as like a focus, and it is, they are really cool, and I just think that looks awesome. It's like such a unique weapon. I don't know if it's like a chakram or a ring or what, but it is really cool. Archer. These guys are literally exactly what they say on the tin. I mean, I like the Archer on Tera, because he's one of the few bow-wielding classes in a game that's not got a pet. I mean, like World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, a lot of their ranged classes are reliant on pets. The Archer in this, although he does purely range damage, he keeps himself away with like dodges, jump backs, shoot an arrow and then like leap back off the force of shooting it, stuff like that, and I think that's really cool. Next is the Priest. These guys are your big healers. These are the guys where you go looking for healer for a dungeon, this is the guy that's coming with you. He's a big healer. He obviously wields the staff, really obviously there, this big long gold pole, with the white robes. He is your quintessential healer, and it says right there, healing ability 5 stars. And last, but certainly not least, is the Mystic. These guys wield the Scepter, and I know one of the abilities they can do is they drop like orbs called regeneration orbs on the ground, and they drop them all over left, right and centre, and you can pick them up as other classes to gain healing, mana regeneration, stuff like that. And they are a really, I played them very early on in the beta, and it was enjoyable, and it was a good idea for support. And with that, we're going to wrap the class up, and we're going to move on and look at actual gameplay. So I'm going to click back here, and I'm going to back it again, head back to the world selection, hopefully it'll let me in. Again, and these Pegasus here, you'll notice in the corner, these guys, these are what you ride, similar to griffins and stuff on WoW. You move around with on the backs of these Pegasus when you're trying to get between different zones. So there you go. Here we are on the character select, back where we started. This is my main here, Cadrill. He's a Castanic Slayer, level 41. He's not hit the max level yet, the max level is 60. Currently in the High Elf City, so I may just give us a quick jog around there before we start. And anyway, so hit play, let's rock and roll. Does this cool little like cinematic entrance, and then one of the loading screens. These are picked at random, and they sometimes contain fun little hints or like little background lore related to the world of Arborea. So there we go. It's quite it loads fairly fast on my computer. So here we are, lots of things coming up at once, all the textures loading, and this is the game. It's obviously, you can tell it's a really, really beautiful game. There's a lot of high detail in the graphics and stuff. When I first started playing, if I'm honest, I found the interface really, really overwhelming. You've got like a map in the corner, you've got all your abilities on the bottom, all this, you know, like stuff at the side. It's very, very cluttered for someone as a new player. But it's not the end of the world, so I'm quickly going to just go into whispers here so like, you know, people aren't just reading the chat. This is the High Elf City. Just thought I'd tell you guys on. I've got this. This is from the collector's edition, this lion. Very cool. Just ride it around. Lots of portals. It's a really nice city, guys. I can't even stress. It's really well crafted. It's just got such a cool architecture to it. Like, I really like it. If you can't already tell. Here you can see on the side. This is the map where you can see where I'm running to. Just, you know, I'm not going to spend too long in the city because I do want to get out there and show some of the combat, which is totally what Tera is known for. So I just jog around here. I see people running around. A lot of this grey fade in, where people are fading in grey, it's just, I think it just helps keep data usage to a minimum. And despite the really nice graphics of this game, it isn't as high spec as you think. Like my old computer before I got a new one, it would run on Ultra, and Guild Wars it wouldn't at all. So like, you know, comparatively, it's not as high spec a game as you would think, judging by how really lush the visuals are. So, and of course, we've got to take a quick look at the sky, because any sun that has runes around it is an awesome sun. Just saying. That's cool, okay? Like, there's no question whether that's cool. It is cool, okay? We're going to take a flight out now to where I'm currently questing. If I can remember where the hell I'm questing. Trallion, yes, that is where I'm going. The map is, as you can see, it's a good time for me to explain. It's split into two continents, all on one side and then on the other, with this huge fissure cutting them in half. This top area here, I'm under the impression that it's maybe for an expansion or some sort of in-game patch, hopefully to open that up to the to everybody to play with. So, but as of now, it is currently unavailable. So I'm going to fly up to Trallion, yeah, 10 silver, that's fine. Get on one of these beautiful white-winged griffins and set off into the sky. As we're flying, I'll try and give you a really lush look at the visuals, and just, you know, talk about some of the other things in this game. Firstly, for everyone who doesn't know, Tera is now free to play. I am going to be throwing a link in the description down below, directly to the website, so if you're interested in getting Tera, just, you know, click it, follow the instructions. If you're a big gamer, you might already know about it, but I just thought, you know, for your guys' convenience, it'll be right down below, and you'll just be able to click it to go. Here we are. The High Elves actually are from the desert in this game. Oh my god, sky. Desert, and then cool stuff, and then I'm on this griffin, and then this thing. It is amazing. So we're heading out, oh, there's a massive axe there. We're heading out to a sort of forest area, and I love the forests in this game. They are unbelievably beautiful. And so this is a zone transition. It always comes up like this. Just sort of weird, portally effect. It's cool, a little bit epileptic, but it is cool. This game has actually been quite big in like Korea, I think, for a long time before it saw a Western release. So, you know, it's got like, I don't know how far or how different the Korean game now is. And as you see, we're coming in to the forest, and I mean, doesn't it just look incredible? It looks like something out of a dreamscape. It is so cool. I mean, it's almost a shame, because some of these environments you wish were more interactive, because I would love to just go climbing amongst those trees and stuff. It is ridiculously cool. So we're just going to land now, and I'm going to head out, maybe just, you know, carry on a bit of questing while I just talk to you guys about, like, what I think of this game. So I'm going to quickly jog off the Flight Master platform, hit the mount button, F5, whenever I can mount, thank you. And I'm just going to head out, we're just going to see what's what. This game, I have, in terms of the modding scene, I couldn't tell you. But it doesn't need things like a quest helper because all that sort of thing is handled straight away from here. Look, if you see where my hand is, it goes to the not so lost relics, and then it just brings up straight away on the map, down there, exactly where my objective is. So I'm going to head out there. I think I'll probably have to kill things for that, so I will, as we get there, we'll talk about them in the content. If you notice in the top corner where it's here, look, CH1, there are numerous different channels per zone, and they act almost like different servers. So someone who's on channel 1 won't be able to see anyone who's in channel 2, and so on and so forth, which is a really interesting, if not slightly convoluted idea, because it encourages open world PvP, but then splits people off into different channels. So it means if you're getting harassed and ganked, you can run away, a good thing. But at the same time, if you're a ganker, you might not always be able to find somebody to gank. So, but swings and roundabouts at the same time. It's, if you want to gank, I suppose they've done what they can to help people out in both ways. So here you'll see some of the mobs. The mobs all have like a presence in the world, and that presence, you can't run through a mob or anything like that. So I'm just gonna have a quick scan around here. Here we go. I'm gonna hit F5, and I'm gonna head straight into combat. I'm gonna use a shout, bringing up my mana, and we're gonna enter combat. The combat is based on the right click on the mouse. You swing, you dodge with right click, and swing with left click, and then spacebar governs your reactive abilities, like spacebar, leaping strike, overhead strike, and then that's sort of how it works. One whirlwind strike, back to spacebar for the overhead strike. Quite simple, but it works, and your abilities feel like they're chaining together really nicely. Kill that guy. There we go. And then the loot, it's got a tangible presence on the floor, which is something that I can't decide if I like or not. It's a weird one, because sometimes you feel as if you wish you could loot the bodies, and other times it's easier because once the mob is dead, all you have to do is press the F key, and you can pick up your loot. So let's have a look for these guys. Oh yeah, there's a rejuvenation right here. These are the things here I was talking about earlier that are dropped by mystics. So the mystics can drop them, but they also drop off mobs. So there we go. Have a quick look. I wonder if it's... Oh, there we go. Not so lost relic. And this is the... it's clearly a pick up and gather quest, but it's also been a little while since I last played Tera. I played it as a premium member back at release, and I played throughout beta. However, as the beta ended and I got to higher levels, I found myself... I don't know why I was drawn away from it, but it was... Well, I can't really explain it. It might have been the fact that I didn't feel ready to pay for a game when I had games like Guild Wars coming out that were free to play and looked to offer a lot more initial content, because Tera's initial content was a little sparse. So here's a bit more combat for you. That's a quick dodge. See, I avoided that monster's attack. Straight back in, overhead strike, boom. You get a little bit of health for killing them. You get some cash, about 25 silver, and a Quior Rune of Sahara. Those are a common crafting mat. However, how the crafting system works, I couldn't be sure. It's very, very complicated. And it's to do with those different runes. And obviously my guy likes to make silly noises. There we go. Whenever I loot things. So as you can see as well, in the centre of the screen there is the crosshair. And the crosshair is exactly what it is. You will swing pretty much in the direction where the crosshair is. So I turn it here, swing over here, turn it here, and I'll swing over there. Really, really simple. But it works. The combat feels really visceral. Really, it feels really good to fight. I've mostly played Slayer, where I would say a single downside is, although it feels really good and visceral, I sometimes wish I had a little more pace. But overall, I'd say it feels really great. I'm just going to charge these guys and batter them. See, that felt like really, really good to chain together those combos. It was a really cool feeling. And the monsters, they do show signs of enrage, which is really cool. And one of the other things that sort of really drew me and the guys at Far over to this game was it's BAMs, it's big ass monsters. I mean, these guys are relatively small, and you know, they already stand at least as tall as me. But you get monsters that are like huge, like, you know, 30, 40 foot big, and you're bringing them down. It is like a really, really, it's a good sense of achievement. So, you know, and I really think that is a really cool thing, and hopefully, you know, like, I am afraid the likelihood of us fighting some BAMs in this video is pretty small, but you know, it is definitely something that is interesting. It gives it sort of that Monster Hunter feel when you're taking out like a massive dragon or something. And that's cool, you know, that speaks to me as a gamer in a lot of ways. So I'm gonna kill these mobs, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up there, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this like first look at Tera. As again, the link is in the description below if you're interested. It's totally free to play with the option to pay to play, and there is a shop for microtransactions, so you know, it caters to whatever you guys want. Anyway, last but not least, I have been Cendude. Thank you very much for watching.